Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your January 2023 tarot card and astrology readings. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who are new, my name is Jane. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for joining with me on this wonderful new journey this year. So as always, these monthly readings are separated into two segments. So the first segment is the tarot card reading, which is much more intuitive. And the second portion is the astrology section. Now, please feel free to watch these for your sun, moon, or rising sign. However, I do recommend your rising sign for the astrology portion, just so you can get a more accurate viewpoint on what your transits are actually going to be. And don't forget that if you are a member on my website, janeinternational.com, that you'll be able to log on and access the comprehensive readings as always. And if you're not a member and would like to join, you are more than welcome to do that as well. Or you're also free to just do a one-time single purchase of the comprehensive reading, just like we've always done. So let's go ahead and get into these readings for the month. Thank you again. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in just a sec. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your tarot card reading for January 2023. Let's go ahead and get started and open the channel with a card from my intuitive deck here. So let's just see what comes through. So we have, I'm feeling a lot of buzzing energy, like something is really buzzing. Maybe you're feeling a lot of vibrational energy, a lot of agitation, probably has a lot to do with Mars going direct this January in your 7th house. You're feeling like the desire for movement, maybe the desire for travel, the desire for growth, like you're wanting to really take it to the next level. Now, that's not just Sagittarius. That's pretty much everyone who is paying attention to what's going on inside their body. Okay, a lot of people are very disconnected from their body, so I know that that's not necessarily going to be true for everyone on the planet, but if you're paying attention and you are in tune with your inner essence, this desire for the new is going to be very, very strong, and that's not really going to stop all year. Okay, that's going to hold true for the whole of 2023. And I feel that there's a lot of excitement and a lot of enthusiasm. And I also feel that you have a lot of support. So through friends and family and people who are just kind of observers in your life, but they are also really inspired by you, you have a lot of support. So this is not a time for Sagittarius to hold back. I hate seeing Sagittarians hold themselves back, right? Jupiter ruled people, and I know this is maybe a little bit like a lot, but I mean, Jupiter ruled people need to continually grow, right? And they need to continually experience, and they need to continually embrace the adventure of life. And when things go a little bit stagnant or they get stuck, it can be incredibly unnerving. So if things have been stagnant or staying in place for the past, 6 months or so, probably all that stagnation is going to start to shake loose in the beginning of 2023. And you're going to realize that you've kind of busted the game wide open. Okay, I think it's really great, very exciting. I know that Sagittarius is ready mentally, spiritually, emotionally for this. And I know that if something great happens, you won't reject it. You know, like you're like, oh, the love of my life just entered, but I don't feel ready. Like Sagittarius is definitely not going to be doing that kind of nonsense. Okay, so what else does the universe need from you, Sagittarius? We have the Magician. Well, there you go. There's the creation energy coming out full force. The Magician is, of course, an initiation. It doesn't necessarily mean that things are going to fully come forward right away, right? This is a beginning. Now, Capricorn season is the beginning of the winter months here in the Northern Hemisphere, beginning of the summer, right? We have the solstice on the 21st of December. And the solstice energy is a turning point, and the cardinal quality of Capricorn is an initiation. So it doesn't necessarily mean that there are going to be fully actualized manifestations at this time, but that's okay. I always equate Capricorn season, Northern Hemisphere references here, guys, putting like tulip bulbs or like flower bulbs in the ground before the first freeze, right? So when you do that, that's why these beautiful life forms can blossom in the spring, right? They need the cold. And I think they need the cold and they need the darkness. And I think a lot of the ideas and a lot of the concepts that you're working with right now are kind of in that being buried in the frozen ground kind of state. But I guarantee you, if you take advantage and you don't like sleep on the planting of these bulbs or the planting of these seeds, if you don't sleep on that, they will blossom come April, May, and June, okay, come spring. So we need to make sure that we're operating with the potency of the season. So we don't want cardinals to go to waste. We have in your environment, we have Page of Swords, beautiful. I'm loving like with the buzzing and the vibration and the coming to life and things really shaking loose. I love that with the Page of Swords because the Page of Swords is like an idea factory. And you might be collaborating with people and talking to people, especially as Venus comes into Aquarius, which is your third house on the 2nd. So like right out of the gate, January 2nd, Venus comes in. And then we have the sun coming in on the 20th. All right, so the last part of January, plus we've got Mars in the 7th as well. So the collaborative qualities here are fantastic. There really isn't anything... I don't know if there's anything really holding you back from at least just talking to people. You don't have to lock yourself in any contracts or anything, but talk to people. Talk to people and run ideas by them, brainstorm, maybe read some new things, maybe shake up your algorithm on social media a little bit by searching for keywords you've never searched for before. Read some kind of books that you've never read before. I like the collecting of information aspect for Sagittarius right now with that third house activation, okay? And I do think a lot of it is money related because obviously Capricorn is involved too, second house. So your new ideas for the sake of enhancing your income, and if you need to work on your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-respect, any of that, this is a fantastic time for that as well. Okay, so the first row of tarot, we have the Hanged Man, the Six of Wands, and the Queen of Cups has been making such an appearance. You guys are the last sign I'm reading for. She has been coming out full on. And the feeling I'm getting from her, and with you guys it's no different, is that this is someone that, first of all, there's a mutual respect with this person. You respect them, they respect you. There may be love, there may be romantic love for some of you. It could be a mother, it could be a more maternal or a parental influence. Someone who is probably not very involved in what you've got going on. Like, you have your life and they have their life and they are acting right now as a substantial support, but they're not involved. It's not like you're like, hey, let's build a business together, or hey, let's, I don't know what it is, but I don't know that that's what's really happening. Okay. They are there behind the scenes, helping you out in a lot of different ways and ensuring that you have a safe place to come to should you need it, but they are also not getting in your way. And I think what's happening is they've seen, the Hanged Man can represent like a delay or a stretch on things where you feel like you definitely don't have a lot of control when the Hanged Man comes out. Your hands are tied behind your back, you're hung upside down from a tree, right? There's literally very little that you can do. And this person has just kind of seen you in this place, and they've known that there's not a lot that they can do to help you, because the only way to get out of this situation is to come into higher consciousness. That's it. This is a plateau. You plateau somewhere, and if you don't learn new things, if you don't expand your mind or expand your life experience, you're just going to stay in that same place, which is going to drive a Jupiter-ruled person absolutely insane. So that's why this is so high quality for you, right? The collaboration, the brainstorm, the new communication, or the new education, whatever it is. This is what is going to help facilitate you to come down off that tree. And I feel that you actually are going to successfully do that. Probably in January. I know sometimes when I do these readings, I'm like, oh, this is maybe not for another few months, whatever the case, but I think this is happening in January. You're coming down off of this like really annoying place and you're like, all right, I am ready to like triumphantly and passionately move forward into the next arena. I'm ready to take it to the next level, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. It could be your business. It could just be your financial world. It could be a relationship, whatever. But you're ready to progress. You're ready to evolve. And your Queen of Cups is like, okay, great. I love you. I support you. I'm here if you need me. It does seem like this is something Sagittarius has to do on their own. I don't know that a lot of outside influence can really help, because this is more about who you are becoming. And no one can help you with that, right? No one can help you become something purposefully, right? It's just a matter of like, I'm ready. And I'm ready to listen, I'm ready to hear, and I'm ready to evolve. I'm ready to make the behavioral and the emotional and the mental changes in order to become that person that I hope to become. For some of you, it's like, I want to become a successful business owner. For others of you, I want to become a great partner for someone that I haven't even met yet. I want to become a world traveler. I want to become an educator, whatever it is. Okay, so you're having to rethink your self-concept almost entirely. Five of Wands. I don't even mind the Five of Wands. It's not giving me an icky feeling. Even the Five of Coins. I like these because they're motivating. I like these places because this is what, the Eight of Swords, whenever this card comes out, it's like, I always see the gravity being at the bottom here. So these swords, by the sheer force of gravity, these swords are going to come plopping out. Okay, they're not going to be able to, they're too heavy, right? Like they're made of steel or iron. They're too heavy. They're going to have to fall out, right? You're limiting. Now, actually, you guys, I've been working with an NLP coach lately. She's been helping me a lot. And you've probably heard me say this already in one of my weekly readings, but one of the things that she's helped me to see is we actually don't have limiting beliefs. If a belief is simply a thought that we think over and over again, right? We just continually to think that thing, then it ultimately becomes a matter of whether or not we decide to continue to think that thing. And a limiting belief is actually a limiting decision. And that a couple months ago was the first time I heard that. And it totally like busted the game wide open for me. Because now every time I'm wanting to do something and I hit up against some resistance, I'm like, okay, I'm deciding to let the resistance beat me. Okay? And when you can change your way of thinking like that, you do completely, it's not even like a whole new ball game. It's like a completely new sport. It's a whole new sport. It's like going from like baseball to like gymnastics. Okay? Completely different thing. So you're changing sports here. And this Five of Wands, this sort of conflicted place, this was probably internal, the internal conflict, which was, really happening because you were plateaued. You plateaued, and therefore you started going to war with yourself a little bit. And maybe that started to manifest as being at war with someone else, or getting agitated or irritable, or you were projecting outward in some way, shape, or form. Probably not the most useful, but it's a symptom. When we start looking at argumentativeness or tension or conflict, as well as bad health or financial illness as well, if we start looking at all of those things as symptoms, probably the symptom is that you weren't tapping into your magician energy the way that your soul has been begging you to do. Now, it doesn't mean you haven't been doing anything. I'm not trying to sit here and say like, oh, you're lazy. I know that's not I know that's not the case. Maybe you've been working really hard, but you haven't been seeing the results because you're just doing it the same way. So, like I say, this is not just a whole new ball game. This is an entirely new sport. 2023, that's how the whole of 2023 is going to be. It's going to be full of lessons, but it's going to be exhilarating. It's going to be exciting. There are going to be a lot of things to be enthusiastic about as long as you perceive it that way. Yes, there's going to be lots of global stuff. Economy is probably going to do real bad. Okay. All right. There may be a revolution or two. There may be some pretty significant world events that go on. But it's how you choose to perceive it, and do you choose to perceive an opportunity or not? Of course, Sagittarius will, at least the ones watching tarot and astrology and people who are doing the self-development and soul-seeking work. You definitely will. Let's see what else comes through for Sagittarius on this final row here. Okay. Oh, I love the page for you. I really, really do. Pages are fun. Pages are, I've been doing this thing on my Instagram where I'm starting to take these inspirational quotes and pair them with tarot cards to kind of make these more real, like real life tarot cards. Okay. And one of the inspirational quotes that I pulled for actually all the pages was like, life is not about happiness. Whoever told you that lied to you. Life is about life. And it's about learning, and it's about training, and it's about evolving, and it's about the ups and downs, and it's just about life. That's what life is about. And now I kind of changed my perspective a little bit, because I'm like, yeah, I think that's what the pages really represent. It's not about trying to go out and expect to go get stuff. It's about just embracing the adventure that is life itself. And the Page of Swords being communicative and collaborative and experimental and highly creative. And actually there's a huge, for me, the Page of Swords represents the breath of life. Like when you're a newborn baby and they kind of, I don't know if they spank you or hit you on the back or whatever to get you to make that first breath. I don't know how that works. But whatever they do to make you take that first breath, that's the Page of Swords. All of a sudden, boom, life begins. So when the page shows up, there is a new life that comes, because a new idea is also a new life form. And with the Fool, this is going to be something you're very excited about. Again, the vibration energy with that first card is really strong. It's like your body is buzzing with the excitement of new possibilities. And that's being mirrored with the Fool, whose heart is freaking wide open and spacious and receptive, and also willing to take some risks. But I don't think it feels risky. This feels like a much bigger risk. Because this stuff, if you don't address this or make changes, this can lead to some really dark stuff. This can lead to, this may be, physical symptoms, but it could lead to something more fatal, or it could lead to something financially. Maybe you're a little bit stressed about your bills right now, but if you continue to focus on that, this could lead to something much worse, and so you have to acknowledge where you're at, but also be completely willing and completely able to take the chances and the risk and invest in yourself for the sake of the growth that you want to have, that your soul knows you want to have. Okay, maybe you needed this little time here to shift the mindset. We can be really grateful for the Hanged Man. Okay, he kind of sucks sometimes, but he does us a lot of favors because he keeps us out of a lot of nonsense by hanging us up here. Okay, he keeps us out of trouble. But at a certain point, that trouble passes by in the timeline, and it's time to get down and start participating in life again. And I feel like Sagittarius has fully embraced this notion of being entirely engaged with life. And with the Three of Swords, Three of Swords, Eight of Swords, this can be one of our biggest teachers, the Three of Swords. There's a lot of pain here, a lot of disappointment, and there's often a lot of reflection on the fact that maybe we are living in the consequences of our own choices as well. And we start to understand our percentage of contribution to stuff. I'm not saying you're 100% responsible, but we are needing to take accountability for the things we actually are responsible for. Taking accountability for that stupid decision that we made, right? Now, I'm not saying any decision is actually really stupid. Obviously, there's always a lesson to learn, but sometimes there are really difficult things that could have been avoided had we just listened, right? So I think you're also kind of coming, there seems to be some kind of a, I want to say redemption seems a little bit better. Like there's like a redemption going on within yourself. And this is actually going to be helpful for you because it's healing, it's cathartic. And the healing and catharsis is probably what you need to get this stuff really up off the ground. Okay, let's pull out the clarifiers and see where else this story takes us. This is kind of an interesting one. So for those of you who are new here, the cards I'm about to pull out are the cards we will cover in the comprehensive reading. The link for that is in the description box in the comment thread down below. We usually talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about these cards, so please feel free to check it out. All right, you guys, let's see what comes through here for Sagittarius. We have another page. Hold on. Page of Cups. Loving the page. Ooh, Chariot. Also quickly becoming one of my top favorite cards. And we have the World. We have the beautiful star, the Seven of Wands in the environment. Ooh, and the sun. Ooh, and the sun and the star come out together. That's always one of like the best combinations, in my opinion. Very supportive of one another. Okay, let's take a look at this Hanged Man. What else does Sagittarius need to know about this Hanged Man? Sagittarius for January 2023. We have the Four of Swords reversed. Yeah, you are waking up out of some kind of a slumber. Emperor. Oh, I love that when coupled with the Magician. And we have the Page of Coins. We have the Five of Swords, the Nine of Coins, and the Five of Cups. Queen of Cups, Page of Wands. Another Seven of Wands. Interesting. Okay. The relationship with that Queen of Cups just got a little bit complicated because it ties in over here, but that's okay. Not complicated in a bad way. All right, now for this Five of Wands here, we have the Ace of Wands reversed. Four of Cups reversed. Ooh, Queen of Swords, loving her. And we have Two of Wands. Oh, we got two. We have the Knight of Swords reversed and Temperance. Okay. The Hierophant. Tower reversed and the Lovers reversed. Seven of Cups. The Devil. Okay, the Page of Swords is definitely challenging you, but again, in a good way. We have King of Wands with that Fool. There's the creativity coming back. Oh, Five of Coins reversed. We love to see that. Okay, and then for the Three of Swords, beautiful. That's what I mean about the healing. 10 of Cups, and then we have another Eight of Swords. Six of Coins reversed. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, please read down below, select the proper option for you. And that's everything. You guys know I love you. Have a great January, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your January 2023 astrology reading. So, actually, January I'm very excited about. I'm calling it the turnaround month, right? This is where the remaining retrograde planets, Mars, Mercury, and Uranus, they all station direct. So by the end of the month, every single planet is moving forwards. And I think this is a very exciting time. I'm not going to say this is rare specifically, but it's not every day that we have all the planets moving direct. And sometimes it feels really nice to just feel like things are moving. And I'm not going to say you're not going to have your challenges or your problems. You will. It's life. But sometimes it's just things seem more like you're running through air instead of running through mud. Let's just say it that way, right? You're running through air instead of running through mud. And I think choices right now really matter, like the way they always do, but especially now, because the way that you can accelerate and the amount of growth that you can experience in a very short period of time is just a little bit more than normal, right? Because whenever we have a planet retrograding, it tends to have a more internalized effect. Now, I'm not saying that internal activity cannot be productive, because it absolutely can, but sometimes it's nice to turn everything outward, to kind of get out of our heads, to get out of our emotions and our wounds and our traumas, and get out of our healing process and just go live our lives and go accomplish things in this world. And I feel like as we make our way through these winter Northern Hemisphere winter months, Southern Hemisphere summer months, as we make our way through this season, I guess we could just say that, we actually can really feel a little, I'm not going to say in control, but the actions that we're taking have a real effect. And I think that's going to feel really good. Oh, my cat comes to say hello. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Capricorn season, right? Beautiful January. We are in Capricorn season. Then later on, we move into Aquarius. And right now, we do have this Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. This just started back on the 29th of December. So this is a fairly new retrograde. So it is starting to kind of speed up a little bit at this time as we enter into the month. Now, Capricorn, as we know, is Saturn ruled. Saturn is the ruler of time. And so things do tend to feel a little bit more stretched out. And because Mercury is such a speedy sign, he's like the fastest one, because he's retrograding. And not only that, but we also have Mars retrograde in Mercury ruled Gemini as well. So there's definitely this Mercury energy. We can even see Mercury is not scoring super great right now at a -5. Okay, Mercury's not scoring really great. He just doesn't have the best placement. So if we move into 2023 a little bit slower, kind of feeling as though we are sauntering in, just kind of, maybe it's not this full-on rush, that's probably actually going to be the best way. The rush is going to come later on in the next few weeks. We'll start to feel it once Mars stations direct and then Mercury stations direct. We'll start to feel it. So just kind of take it easy as you move in. The second house is also not a very fast house either. Eventually the third house will activate with the sun. Now, Venus actually comes in on January 2nd into this third house, into Aquarius. So just in the next couple of days, here comes Venus into the third. But I don't know that she's necessarily very speedy in the third house either. I think she just really values other people's ideas at this point. Okay, so if you're thinking about your future, you're thinking about your life, you're thinking about your goals, this is a fantastic time to just listen to people. Okay, Venus, she is beautiful and lovely and wonderful, and there can be a partnership quality there that goes on. And maybe if you are coupled with someone, you may have really wonderful conversations with your partner. But I think if you're reaching out to new people, or you're reaching out to the internet or something like that, this would be just an important time for you to just hear what other people have to say. I have another ladybug on my microphone. I do not know where these ladybugs are coming from, you guys. I think I got back from holiday and there were 20 ladybugs on my ceiling. I have really high ceilings, so there was nothing I could do. Slowly but surely putting them all outside. But anyway, if I freak out, it's because it probably started flying away. Anyway, we'll put them outside when I'm done. So anyway, it is going to be about listening and hearing what other people have to say and just kind of collecting a lot. Mars right here in Gemini in the 7th house. I do think probably more you're going to be leaning into your significant other if you have one. And you'll be maybe just kind of keeping conversations a little bit more private. I don't know that Sagittarius right now is really going out there and sharing all their ideas with other people. They just want to hear what other people have to say. They want to hear what this person is doing and how they are doing it. I don't know that Sagittarius is really ready to be fully transparent with their own internal processes, because I think right now Sagittarius is trying to figure those out, right? You're trying to figure out how to make them more efficient, more effective, how to make everything more profitable and more effective. And so that's just kind of where you're at. You might be really focusing on your financials right now with the 2nd house activation. For those of you who are working on your self-esteem and your sense of self-value, this is a fantastic transit for that. With Mercury retrograding here, this is a time to really flip the script. So if you have any negative programming going on up here, now is the time to really, you can work with someone on this, or you can just go on the internet. Again, Venus in the 3rd, collect information. You can learn a lot, but honestly, this is a time for you to catch yourself in those negative spirals or those negative feedback loops or with that negative story, and really ask yourself if that's the story you want to be telling yourself as we go into 2023. As we go into a whole new year, is this how you want to begin? Do you want to set the tone in a way that kind of already projects that you're not going to succeed? Okay. This is a time to start getting positive and to start being hopeful and to start believing. Because I'm just going to tell you what, when Saturn comes into Pisces, there aren't a lot of sources that you're going to be able to go to get that hope. You're going to have to really generate that from within, okay? Because this Saturn through Pisces has the potential, I'm not guaranteeing it for each individual, but it has a potential to be very despairing. And if there's a lot of despair in our environment and with people and the news, it was already bad enough in 2020. So we've been around it a little too much. So if we are in a despairing environment, first of all, it's going to kill Sagittarian spirit. All right. Totally just ugh. So right now, catching yourself with any kind of negative feedback loop is going to be important as we set the tone and we build momentum for this year. Okay. I love the fact actually for you guys that we have Jupiter here in Aries in your 5th house. We love the 5th house. The 5th house is fun and entertaining and passionate and creative and sexual. And there's just a lot of really, really good things that come through this 5th house. Unfortunately, Chiron is in here, but we won't talk about him this month. We'll talk about him a little bit more next month. But still, I think through January, there is a lot of juices flowing for Sagittarius, I know that, really on the 20th, when the sun comes into Aquarius, that's when your 3rd house is going to really activate. First couple of weeks, again, is just going to be a little bit softer. But once the sun does come into that 3rd house on January 20th, there is going to be a lot of movement. And this is good for Sagittarius. I think Sagittarius operates very well with a lot of movement in their lives. A lot of people coming in, a lot of new information, a lot of new things to learn. And this is probably going to be more a time when you actually can share more of what you're doing. You can be a little bit more transparent once the sun comes into Aquarius, if you want to be. Because that energy, sun through Aquarius, oh, see, there's the ladybug. They keep hitting me in my face. It's so great. But the sun through Aquarius is in a sextile as it comes in January 20th, 21st, 22nd. It's going to be in a positive aspect with Jupiter here. And it's really going to feed that okay, I'm really ready to do something now. I'm ready to go, to travel, to say this thing, to go to this place, to ask for more money, whatever the case is. I'm ready and I feel confident. And your confidence is going to be very important here. for whatever it is you're trying to do. Obviously, confidence is a great asset to have at any time, but if that's something that you struggle with keeping consistent within you, there's going to be just an extra added cosmic boost of that, if you will. Now, around that same time, on the 22nd, Uranus is stationing direct. So actually, as the sun comes into Aquarius on the 20th, Uranus is basically sitting still, barely moving. I mean, he's already barely moving as it is. But when the sun comes into Aquarius, it's even going to be that much more prominent. On the 22nd, it stations direct. So if something weird or crazy happens around the time the sun comes into Aquarius, don't be surprised. It's probably going to be a good thing that helps put you on the right path. I wouldn't freak out about it if you have some kind of a tower moment where things get all chaotic and skewy. Honestly, would not worry about it. I genuinely think it's a necessary event that has to happen in order for Sagittarius to get to where they need to be, and to get you to fundamentally change in some way, okay? Because Uranus North Node have been conjunct really since the very beginning of August. It really happened, I think it was July 31st when that officially happened, 30th or 31st or something like that. So all through August, September, October, November, December, and most of January, Uranus has been right with that North Node in Taurus. And I've been calling this like a portal or a window of time wherein we have the opportunity to get out of our comfort zone with Taurus and to get out of our stubborn, like the thing with Taurus, it's like, and then the problem with a comfort zone is that it's not bad, right? A comfort zone is not bad. It's not like hurting you. It's not toxic. It's probably a good thing actually in a lot of ways. It's your hometown, or it's your beautiful, loving bed that you love to snuggle in, or whatever it is. It's good, but maybe it just got a little too much. It just got a little too much power, and maybe you've been losing a little bit of control in some way, shape, or form with this comfort zone. You got a little too set in your schedule, Sagittarius. You got a little too set in your way of living. And I think Uranus North Node has been pushing everybody to acknowledge that maybe what is set in stone needs to be scratched off and rewritten a little bit, okay? And maybe you didn't make massive changes the past 5-6 months. That's okay. Those changes are likely to come. I've been saying that probably this Uranus North Node conjunction really impacted your mind a lot. So if you didn't actually do something radically different with your life, that is probably yet to come once that portal starts to close, once Uranus North Node start to separate on the 22nd and beyond. It's what this is one of this right here, Uranus North Node leaving, coming out of that, plus Saturn coming into Pisces, plus Pluto coming into Aquarius, both happening in March. That's one of the reasons why I feel that 2023 is probably going to be one of the more impactful years of our lives. Now, I know 2020 was huge, but this month, January, is really priming us in such a powerful way for the whole upcoming year. And I think it's going to feel good. And I think a lot of people are so beyond ready for these changes to really happen. You're beyond ready to finally make the money, or beyond ready to finally fall in love with that person that you love so much, or beyond ready for your career to finally take off, or whatever it is, And I think a lot of people, based on choices, of course, a lot of people based on choices are going to see drastic revision in their timelines. Huge. And it's exciting, and it's a little scary, and it's a little, it's kind of a little bit of a nail biter, kind of feels like a thriller, but I think you're ready. And I think Sagittarius, you definitely are ready. Mars stations direct on the 12th. He's actually the first planet to move direct. And I think your relationships, whether your romantic promises and obligations or business contracts, any person that you're kind of contractually wed to. Okay, if you're wed to someone, I feel that if there have been troubles, they're going to start to iron out. If there's been a lot of misdirection, it's going to start to find its North Pole. If there's just a lot of miscommunication, it's all going to start evening out by the time we enter Aquarius season, okay? Capricorn season, don't forget, it is Saturn ruled. So is Aquarius season, but at least it's an air element. I think what makes Capricorn so unique is that it is a Saturn ruled earth sign. And actually, people who have Saturn in Capricorn, like in their natal charts, yes, they can be wildly successful, 100%. But it's also a very heavy success. There's a lot that goes into it. There are a lot of tribulations, lots of trials and tribulations that have to be overcome in order for. I was actually reading a book once, and someone said, even though Saturn's in rulership, I actually feel the worst for people who have Saturn and Capricorn in their natal charts. And I'm like, from what I've seen in the private readings that I've done, I would agree. So I know that like Saturn, Capricorn, it's just a little dense. And if you're not used to it because you don't have any Capricorn placements in your chart, it can feel that way. So, but it is a time of hard work. It is a time of, I'm not going to say put the pedal to the metal for you, Sagittarius, right now. I don't know that it's that, but it is about being effective, and it is about putting something into what you want and really just like not quitting until it works, right? This is the classic case of like you make your own luck type of thing. Okay. All right, Sagittarius. I think that's all things. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you so much. You guys know how much I love and adore you. Have an amazing January, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.